Welcome to the Root of It All podcast with Tree, your human behavior expert. Did you ever wonder why you have the behaviors that you have or how to change them? Did you ever wonder about different people in different industries and what made them good at what they do? Well, this is the podcast for you. You're learning all about human behavior from the experts. So cozy up, go for a walk, or go for that drive that you've always wanted to, and get ready to learn. Learn about you, learn about others, because us as humans, we are the funniest creatures on this planet. So let's learn together.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another podcast of The Root of It All, podcast with Tree. And today I have an amazing guest who I can't even believe that you are on the podcast, that you said yes. So this is City Councillor Lisa Kearns, and she is here to teach us more about counseling and woman extraordinaire. I've heard her talk, and so I'm super excited. So thank you so much for coming.
Oh gosh, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for asking me. So thank you for the woman extraordinaire introduction. I'll give you my formal title just so that folks know. It's City Councillor of Burlington, Ward 2, Lisa Kearns. And then we also have Deputy Mayor portfolios, and mine would be Deputy Mayor of Community Engagement and Partnerships. So what's really interesting about Burlington is that you're not only just you're city councillor for Burlington, but we also all sit at the regional table for the region of Halton, which includes Halton Hills, Milton, Oakville, and Burlington.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And where is Ward 2? Like, what's Ward 2?
So I love to explain it like this because I'm a very visual person. So it's from the lake to the highway. And if you've gone to either mall, you've gone too far. So it's on one side of Maple and one side of Guelph Line. So it's almost like a perfect square.
Oh, okay. Awesome. And what got you into wanting to get into this? Like, how does somebody get into that? Did you just wake up one morning and be like, hey, this would be cool?
Well, the joke is that the only qualification to be a city councillor is to get elected.
Oh, okay.
So it's really amazing that people come to this role from so many different backgrounds. On our council currently alone, we've got people with great restaurant and consulting experience. We've got small business owners. We have people who've done social work. I had a corporate experience background in national procurement. So I think it's really about bridging what you do for a living or what your living passion is with a desire to serve the community. So there's no perfect tick box that you could work through. It's really about how you connect with community and how you bring forward a vision for things in the city to progress and to evolve.
That's awesome. And what is your favorite thing about being a city councillor?
Well, every day is definitely different, which is really exciting. So you have to be a really good multitasker and a good memory and be able to read a lot. So that's some of my favorites. But I think connecting with the people in the community and being street level to hear their voice. And the one thing that's the best for me about local civic politics is that you are closest to the people. So you hear about when a street light is out or something so close to their daily life and their daily quality of life is something that they're looking for a little bit of change around, whether it's an improvement or a process change or more support or more resources. And you have the ability to kind of navigate that. So, and you see those short-term improvements, whereas if you're at the provincial or the federal level, those policies take some time, of course, to trickle down and to make their way into how they affect people's daily lives. So I think that's my favorite part is we touch people so closely with everything that they do. In fact, when I visit the high schools, and of course the elementary schools, one of my favorite things to do is to do a sit down, stand up so that people can understand, the students can understand what we touch on their daily lives. So we say, did you turn on any electricity today? Did you charge your phone? And, they'll all stand up and say, great, we oversee Burlington Hydro and the delivery of hydro to your home. Did anybody walk on a sidewalk or use transit or see a park? Great, stand up. That's us. And then we always say, because the Halton region oversees the water, did you use the water this morning to maybe brush your teeth? And always there's one student who will stay sitting and then everyone has a big laugh saying, oh, you didn't brush your teeth. So we do a number of those very significant infrastructure and service delivery services that really make life, the quality of life that we have here in Burlington.
Well, and that's so great. Like, I love what you're doing, like with the kids, specifically when you're getting them to stand up or sit down, that's actually getting re-engaging them. So
Exactly.
so when we move our physical body,
Yes.
it's like getting them more engaged so that even when they stand up, they're like back, oh, what is she saying, right?
And it connects it to a memory that they can maybe
That's
dive
right.
into when they're doing their career planning or their career pathing. I did one thing I'm really proud of is I did a couple of different interns, but I did an intern cohort a couple summers ago, and those young students have since reached out to me for letters of recommendation, and they've gone on to pursue their studies very proudly, I might add. But they had an opportunity, and it was open to anyone across the city to sign up, any high school or early university student. And we got to tour them on so many of the different city services, like going into the actual transit, the whole operation of it. And we went through the bus car wash, and they'll remember that. And we went to Halton Police, and we did a marine unit tour on Lake Ontario about, emergency safety services. We went to the fire station. They did a practice sort of training to see what actual firefighting feels like on the job.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. In fact, I think I learned more than the students did. So I was very grateful for that opportunity. But it also gave us a chance to showcase to those students what a life in public service could look like. It's not just behind a microphone or in a chamber. It's really delivering those services that communities rely on.
Yeah, and just being a homeowner in Burlington, you don't even think about those things, right? Like you have a sidewalk, a boulevard, street lights, or street sweepers coming by, or like all of these things. And it's almost like we take it for granted right? Because you're not like understanding the mechanics of how it is that it actually shows up.
Well, that's actually the goal, right? We want you to enjoy your life, enjoy the recreation and community partnerships that we have, and never need to think about a pothole that's not filled, a street light that's not turned back on. We don't want you to think about any service disruptions or issues with snow removal. We want you to be out loving and engaging in your community while we do all the invisible work behind the scenes that can help and continue to bolster that quality of life.
And it's so fascinating. I mean, we had a lot of snow this year, so
we had a lot of snow.
Yeah. And so teach, like, what's next? Like, here you are, what did you do? Actually, first, let's go back.
Yeah.
What did you do before you were in this position?
Yeah, thanks for asking. I had a job I just loved. I had a career that was very meaningful to me. I was a national strategic procurement manager for the largest diagnostic laboratory in Canada.
Those are a lot of big words.
Yeah.
What does that actually mean?
So, well, that's actually the small version of the big words.
Is it science-based? Like, are you like...
It's more procurement, buying, strategic alignment, strategic partner relationship management, which was a big part of my portfolio. High volume transactions, high value transactions, and really aligning a team across Canada. And then I aligned so well that I aligned myself out of the role when we did a huge acquisition, and took my step into local politics. So I did that. I had a background in manufacturing. I worked at Stelco Steel Factory in Hamilton as one of my very first jobs. Loved it. Loved the people that I worked with. That taught me, that really strong sense of task completion. Again, supplier and partner relationship management, teamwork management. And, that was during a very difficult time. That was while it was under creditors protection. So I really thrive in economic turmoil. So in my jobs that I've had, key ones have been during a CCAA, during the 2008 economic downturn, and then through, an absolutely humongous $1.4 billion acquisition, and then through a situation where public and provincial funding was cut retroactively very significantly. So dealing with those financial challenges has really given me a strong sense of resolve and really driving value for an organization. So that's what I used to do.
Which tells me that you're the type of girl that isn't afraid of pulling up your sleeves and getting the job done.
Oh, not one bit. In fact, funny story, a long time ago, when I was working in an outdoor advertising agency, we lost the client's creative and we all jumped in the dumpster bins looking for it. The overnight staff accidentally lifted it thinking it was refuse, and we're like, we need the creative. So definitely not afraid to do anything that gets the job done. That's proven time and time again.
That's a great story. I have this like visual of like all these people.
Oh yes, in blouses and slacks and blazers, and we were all dumpster diving. We had to find that creative. So yeah, there's never been a time I wasn't ready to roll up my sleeves and just get something done.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
And again, I want to say like people that go into politics and stuff like that, they have a specific type of personality. Um, Part of that personality is about freedom, right? So people that are what we call going towards freedom, and that's really what you're doing for everybody that lives in the city in which that you're representing, is you're giving them more freedom. Like they don't have to worry about this, they don't have to worry about that. They can really focus on their life, their family, and the quality of life.
Exactly.
Right?
And all the things that help them live a happier life, whether it's taking care of their mental wellness, whether it's the ability to go out for a walk to relieve stress, and you know with certainty the streetlights are on and you have a safe and clear path. You know, those things are really important because I don't think it's easy to measure them or count them. They're more like a feeling or a sense of belonging and connection to your community that I feel is really our highest and our deepest obligation, is to almost just be invisible and let people you know, feel like you said, that sense of freedom to thrive where they live.
Well, and like I, for one, I am up really early before the sun, so I appreciate the street lights. I'm out walking my dog every morning, and it was interesting. I think a couple weeks ago, I don't know what it was, but I wasn't tired, so I stayed up a little bit later, probably around midnight, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna take the dog for a walk. It was just such one of those beautiful evenings. And I'm walking the dog and I felt safe. And the next morning I was telling my husband, I said, yeah, what a great thing that we can live in an area where me being a female feels safe to go for a walk at midnight.
Absolutely.
Completely safe.
Absolutely.
Like it didn't even, I didn't think twice. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go walk the dog. It's like midnight.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be said to what it is that you do, how it is that you're keeping these things, being on top of it and just keeping us safe. And
yeah, one of the roles I'm very privileged to hold is on the Halton Police Board, and it's a council appointed role at the regional level. And I'm so proud of the work that we did through our strategic plan, which was recognized by the Inspectorate of Policing as one of the I'll just use some liberty with his words, the best. And we work really, really well with the service to continue to be the safest municipality in Canada for
that's
almost 2 decades now. And it's that constant diligence and that constant commitment with everybody pulling in the same direction. And one of the things that means a lot to me is continuing to make sure that our service is their well-being is taken care of. And we do have a wellness unit and we continue to invest in that. And when they are healthy, they can give you that sense of safety about, you know, there's probably a high chance a cruiser might have been in and around your area just checking on the neighborhood. That happens. Like they're working around the clock to keep our community safe. So we know that with the news and stuff, things are looking a little bit more elevated in temperature here and beyond in terms of what safety feels like to people. But I still know at our neighborhood level, people are feeling safe enough to wake up early, go out late. Same, I had to walk the dogs after a late hockey practice for my kids yesterday, and I was out at 10:30, and I thought, you know, this is amazing. All the lights are on. I don't feel any sense of fear. I feel really connected to the neighborhood as well through some of those neighborhood connection activities that if I needed to go to a door, if I felt unsafe, I would feel comfortable doing that. So really something that we can continue to be proud of.
And even a lot of the community things that's done, like I know, like I live in the Head Forest area and in like the Ireland Park. Throughout the summer, they have like outdoor movies. And
those.
Love
those.
Yeah, it's so awesome. Like just the different things that's in and around Burlington. Like I know there's free live music sometimes out in some of the parks and stuff like that. So funny story. So my husband and I, we were walking downtown Burlington along the water, and there was a guy, and he was playing the bagpipes, and it was a younger guy.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a younger guy, good-looking guy, good looking guy, playing the bagpipes. And he had his dog with him, just a small little white furry dog. I guess dogs are furry, right? But the leash was tied to his ankle, and he had the bagpipe bag open. So it's like you would assume that you can put money in it, right? So I don't know if he did that on purpose, but everybody's seen live music with the open guitar case and you throw money in it or whatever. This guy was awesome playing bagpipes. I couldn't believe it. Like he played like Hallelujah. He played like it was like so many people were watching him. But so my husband's like, oh, okay, let's, throw money in the thing. So I go up, and all of a sudden the dog like starts like, whoa, 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 right? And he's like trying to play the bagpipes and trying to pull the dog like at the same time. And I'm like, throw in the money. Yeah. So there's so many amazing things about Burlington that just sort of pop up here and there. And that's the great thing that I love about it.
It's true.
Yeah. So what's next for you? Where does one go? Actually, before we go there, this is I'm teasing all you guys that are watching this. So, how would one get themselves elected to do what you do?
That's a great question. And breaking down the mystery around that is something I'm really committed to. So, I won't be running for my Ward 2 seat again this year, come October 2026 is the election. And so I've put an open call out to anyone who wants to learn about the role, learn about the office. My office, because of my corporate background, my office is ready for the next person. So the files are organized, the information is prioritized, the mailing list that I've cultivated will go to the next person so that they can, most politicians like to keep that tight and take it with them. And who suffers from that? It's the people who have relied on that to get their information about what's happening in the ward. So I look forward to passing that baton to the next person. I always was only going to do 2 terms. I think it's important to make change and make opportunities for new spaces and places to come in. So what you need to do is, if you haven't started already right now, you need to start like today. You need to get out there in your community. You need to share what's important to you, and you need to listen to what's important to other people, so that you can get a good handle on what the issues are and what your position is on the issues. And we have a lot of issues right now. Taxes are continuing to soar. We've got roadway congestions and issues with traffic management. I'm hearing a lot about building permits taking quite some time right now. Just an overall efficiency of the city is some of the things that I'm hearing from all corners of the city that people want to see some improvements on. And so getting in touch with the issues, making sure you have that strong sense of community connection, that you're creating those groups, those neighborhood connections, and you're sharing a vision for what you positively want to see. I really encourage like that positive politics side of things. And I think we've got a good track record here in Burlington. We really keep ourselves with some decorum. And then you need to get a plan together. You need to talk to your family, number one and first, and make sure that it's something as a family or with your loved ones that it works for them. It is a bit of a time commitment, especially in the next big window running up to the election. It's every day you have to be doing something related to sharing your voice or sharing your vision of what you want to see in the community. You need to get some money together. It costs all the documents on how much it costs for each ward and each mayoral seat to run is all available online. Just type it in. The city posts it. It's available. But you'll need to think of some fundraisers or how you want to get funded. And this is why it's really challenging mostly for women to run, is because it takes at least 100 times or more for someone to say, hey, I think you would be a great representative. Have you ever thought about politics? And then it's shrugged off 99 more times until someone says, wow, I can now see what you're seeing in me. Maybe I can take that next step. And, you start to gather the support around you to uplift you. And I was very fortunate to have a lot of that support a couple of times over. And And then you need to put a campaign together. And really, it is an online presence. It's door knocking and getting out in the community. It's putting yourself into social places where you can connect with people. And then it's staying true to what you are setting out to do, right? The world is tired of politicians that double speak, that wish wash, that tell one group one thing and another group another thing. Yeah. So I think we're really ready to flip the page on real, transparent, and accountable leadership that is just speaking to people like people. And I think that's exactly where we are. So I would say more than anything else, just always be yourself and don't pretend to be what a politician is. Just be yourself and let your integrity guide you.
Yeah, and I think it's really important too to really be true to the values, attitudes, and beliefs of the city itself, of even that person, right? Because you can tell like your values are in alignment with what the community wants as well.
Yeah.
I'm curious, who did you sort of look up to or see as a role model as you were going through this?
So that's a little bit of a tricky question because I didn't see myself doing this. So I wasn't looking up to. I was almost looking sideways. I was looking parallel with the other voices that were shared with mine. And they were the ones kind of groundswelling and kind of uplifting me into the role, as opposed to me looking up at the role and saying, how could I be like that? It was more, cool. It was a lot different than I think many people take the approach to politics. Some people, I hear things like, I always wanted to be a politician since I was growing up. Well, I never wanted to be a politician. So it was very handy, though, that I have a degree in poli-sci. So that did come out of my back pocket when election time comes around. But I just love being able to run things efficiently. We grew up with, very aware of our means at all times. And so that ability to just do more with less and to work really, really hard is more of that natural ability than is that political speaking. Well, I also won public speaking in elementary school. I still have the little crest. Awesome. But it's more like I was kind of groundswelled and uplifted as opposed to looking up. So when I was looking for inspiration or mentorship, I was looking right beside myself at people who said, this isn't for me, but here's what I can share with you. And it was all those little nuggets and jewels along the way that I just kept collecting up and carrying forward. Yeah, but that's not awesome to say we don't have some amazing leaders that I do look up to. But I think for me, more authentically, I was just kind of looking in parallel with what the community was asking for.
That's awesome. Yeah. And so now answer the question. So what is next? What's next? So you said that you're want to bring somebody in to take your seat for Ward 2. So what are you gonna do?
Okay, well, I just will clarify, I'm not bringing someone in. I'm opening up opportunity for everyone to come in, because I feel like letting people have an early knowledge that there's a chance lets you have more runway to have those important conversations with family and friends and your trusted circle and advisors. But what's next for me is that I've had those conversations about a different role within the city that will be more impactful and, again, more authentic and more results driven and more efficiency based. And so I'll have my name on the ballot in October, but it certainly won't be for Ward 2.
Cool. That's exciting. So we need to be watching out for your name.
Yes. Watch out for names and announcements and official registration dates. So for any of our friends watching that are looking for public office, it's May 1st. That is the next key date where you can register to put your name forward for an elected office position. And then that's when you can start collecting money. You can open up your bank account. You can start advertising. You can start spending. So that's a really important date. And we keep that date fair to everybody so that everybody can start at the same time. And then they go through till October.
That's awesome. Yeah. And it's such an interesting field because you see I would say it's a little bit glamorous, like in some ways, in terms of that you get to dress up at the same time that you're. The great thing about you is that you're so diverse. You can pivot very quickly in terms of like, even if you are wearing a blouse and you got to jump into the dumpster, right? Just like,
Yes,
just
just
rolling up
in
those
case,
sleeves,
yes.
right? Yeah. And so what would you tell somebody that is interested in like either volunteering or getting involved in a little bit of the political field?
Yeah, and you know what? I think it's really important to underscore that there's a place for everybody in local politics, right? I'll call it politics widely.
Yeah.
But there is so much that can be done. So you can volunteer with the city, number one. The city has a volunteer portal. So you can get in. So if you don't want to be political, but you want to be part of civic engagement, you can definitely get involved. There's advisory committees, there's a get involved page.
So would you just go on the website?
Yeah, just go on the
Okay,
website.
so we will have the links for.
Yep, or you can just Google it, Burlington volunteering. But not just within the city itself. There's so many community organizations that are really a strong part of what makes our community so special. So there's lots of roles in there that kind of thread the line between, is that political per se, or is that community building, right? And that's a fine line between the two that both have so much value. On a campaign, which is the kind of period or season that we're walking into shortly, there are so many roles. And one of the things that's always been important to me is that I want to make campaigns for everyone by everyone, and there's always a space. So do what you feel comfortable with. So I've had people who are neurodiverse and they really enjoyed quite simply folding the pamphlets into trifolds. Now, what that means is nothing is going to be perfect, but is it deeply valuable? Of course it is. So if a corner is off,
it's quite meditative.
yes,
too.
it's
Yeah,
meditative. Totally. It aligns with our neurodiverse community. They like to do things on their own time and in their own way. And then the results can be varied, and that's okay too. So I think approaching how you involve people in your campaign with grace is more important than what's actually getting done. I had young speakers come to some of my campaign events to talk about what, even though they can't vote, what do they want to see in the city when it is their time to be more civically engaged. Door knockers are super important, so it's not as scary as it sounds. It is definitely nerve-wracking, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, so I'm just gonna say one thing about door knocking. People, if any person wants to get into either sales or own a business or anything people related, to go knock on doors at a young age, I highly recommend it, because it's getting things out of your nervous system, and you're getting more confident to just approach people.
Yes.
So I would highly, highly, highly recommend, like anybody at all, if you're looking, if you're like 16 to 25 and you want to build your confidence, go knock on like 100 or 1,000 doors. Yeah, so that's
or 30,000
or 30.
So, but no, you are completely right, because even as a grown, confident adult, I am so nervous. I couldn't even knock on my first door in the 2022 election. I needed a campaign helper to walk me to the door. And I don't know what mental block I had, but sometimes it's okay to be scared, and people are behind you to help you. And, you know, as silly as that sounds, someone who had already knocked on thousands and thousands of doors, I was like, I don't know what to do. What do I say when they open the door? And I got myself all nervous, and by the first door, I was back to riding a bike. So, you know, it also helps to build your confidence and to get over things that, you know, might be blocked in your nervous system too. And then once you're done, you can get into that good flow. But yeah, so there's lots of door knocking. You can make calls. So you can, if you're not ready for doors, a lot of people also have mobility issues. So those folks have a great space in calling. I know a lot of my seniors really enjoy helping me out because they love to still write. So it's very of their time, where they'll sit at the kitchen table, make a cup of tea, and write the cards. So they will help me do my receipts. So we always, if you make a political donation over $25, a receipt has to be issued. So they enjoy and love writing out receipts. It's kind of like writing a check. So I always welcome them to do what works for their age and stage. So there's so many different things that I just think taking the temperature down from being so politically charged, like how do you get politically involved? There's so many ways that if you find a candidate that aligns with your values, your vision, your hopes for our city, there's so many things that you can do. And I think the first step is to just reach out and ask, what can I do? And there's always a spot in my campaign, 100%, but no matter what your capabilities are, there is a spot.
Awesome. So we're going to do something really fun.
I love fun.
Okay. So in a lot of podcasts, they do the rapid fire questions. So I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions and I'm going to give you options and you're just going to pick an options. All right. Okay. Let's have a sip of water first before we go.
The answer is coffee.
No. Okay. So country or rock music?
I'll say country.
Country. Okay. Peanut butter and jam sandwich or grilled cheese?
Grilled cheese.
Grilled cheese.
Yes.
Romantic movies or action movies?
Romantic, Hallmark all the way.
Okay. Yoga pants or getting dressed up to go out?
Yoga pants.
Okay. A convertible sports car or SUV?
Hefty SUV for hauling like kids' equipment.
Okay. Yeah. Vacation on the beach or like a European walk around?
European walk around. We already have the beach, so I feel like I'm always on vacation. So
and do you like dancing or just walking?
Dancing.
Dancing. Okay, last question. Do you like dogs or cats?
Dogs, I have two.
Okay.
I love them. Cats are okay too for the cat people.
What kind of dogs do you have?
They're treeing Walker Coonhounds, which are big. They look like giant beagles, tricolor. And we got Otis from the animal shelter here in Burlington. So we gave her a little rescued life, and she's given us back tons more in love.
Yeah. Well, that was so much fun. So thank you so much for taking the time, and I can't wait to follow your career and see where you go and stuff like that. And I know I'm going to see you around at different events and stuff. So I encourage you all just to follow Lisa, and if you see her around, go up and say hi, or
please say hi.
Yeah, please say hi. And we'll have all of her contact information in the show notes. We'll also have the link for the Burlington volunteer link if you're interested in doing some volunteering or getting more involved. Highly recommend, because I think it's cool for all of us to get more involved, even for a weekend here or there or whatever.
And I can give volunteer hours for all our young students, so yes,
okay,
reach out.
Well, there you go.
And thanks for listening to another great episode of the Root of It All podcast with Tree. So if you want to check us out on Instagram or Facebook, you can go to Business Growth Results on either of those platforms, or you can even go to businessgrowthresults.com if you have a suggested topic or theme, or you want to get a free hypnosis download. So we'll talk to you soon. Till next time, see you later.